All right. Hello. Okay, everything seems to be working. Hey, everyone. Uh, oh, geez. Sorry for the delay. I had a mini heart attack. Tell me, how's the sound? Stuck? Shouldn't be. Sound is good? Okay, great. So, finally can see you in, or you see me in full HD. I'm testing my phone as my camera, so in case you see me looking a lot into the side, it's because I'm looking on my screen and not on the camera. So yeah, I will be doing that a lot. So how is everyone doing? I've read someone has an exam week. Good luck on exams. Sorry. Alisa, hello. Kenny, hello. Hello. Zvuk dobré. Awesome. So I finally managed to somehow tune my microphone, so it should also be much less noisy, let's say. And I don't have to close my door, which means that I won't have to get up to let my cat indoors and outdoors, which is amazing. Half term. Yeah, I'm not jealous of that. Definitely not. I'm glad that my exams are over, and even though like we're starting the new semester in university, it's like exams are done for now. The bad things is I will have to find praxis, which I'm not looking forward to. But hey, what can you do? Ah, oi. This is so weird. It's like the first stream, I think, that's going to be just me talking for the most part, and where I don't really have any like solid plan what to do. I have the tier list. I found myself tier list because I like tier lists and because no one sent me any. I created two for myself based on the questions I got. But yeah, I have many more and I can't wait to get to them. And technically, I can use some of them to get to the questions I was asked and overall uh, the writing advice and stuff like that. By the way, before we begin, I don't take it as I am some writing expert. I think all of you know that, but just to be clear, okay? I am not a published author. I'm not, for the most part, I'm not author at all. But yeah, I'm not an expert, so this will be purely from my personal experience of a person who has been writing since when was it? 2013, I think. Yeah, so purely my personal experience of a person who just started writing like that. So take it with a grain of salt, okay? My word is not a law. My math teacher wants to put me in a grade higher. Ugh. Do you want to be there? Or not? The kids that in the grade above me hate me. Well, that sucks. That I can't speak. That sucks big time. Well, if you don't want to be in a grade higher, then just say you don't want to be there. Because, like, unless they are some, I don't know, authoritarian school, they have to have in mind your opinion on the things. Been there, it's hard to find good practice. Yeah, well, at least our school has some, how would you call it? Like, catalog of possible praxis. I was looking through that, and some of them are even paid, surprisingly enough. But, like, some of them are just meh, and some of them are just like, what is this even, like, how is this even a thing? So yeah, it will be interesting, especially since we are supposed to have like 240 hours, I think, which is like a lot of days. Yeah, we will see how that will go. Anyway, not above, enough about my stupid praxis. How is everyone doing with the evening or morning or whatever it is for you? I think we can start in a minute or two. Yeah, I need to take my paper. I needed to make notes. I have notes of the questions I was asked, so I don't forget anything. Ooh, it's going to be interesting. The thing is that, yeah, this is going to be mostly tier lists and me talking. So be prepared for that. I'm just going to prepare something. Tell me what you want me to start with. Be right back. Yeah. Can I have some advice? I'm having boy troubles. Well, you can try to ask. We can try to help. But yeah, not a relationship expert. Even though I was kinda a relationship expert for my friends. Yeah, so you can try to ask, definitely. We will try to help. Hey, sure, hello. Good to see you. And I think my phone isn't charging. Why? Hmm. Oof, well, I hope it will last. Oh, well, it won't, obviously, but... Why isn't it charging? I'm totally drained. This stream will help me relax. Well, hopefully. Hopefully I won't fry your brains. That's not something I want to do. Yeah, but I want to know why this thing isn't charging. Too bad. Oh, I can technically pull this cord. Here. Okay, never mind. I will... That's problem for future me. Anyway, tell me what you want me to start with. Because I have a lot of tier lists on tropes, on writing tropes, that I am very much looking forward to because I've never done this. I'm going to be exposing myself, so at least I hope it's going to be fun for you. Not so much for me. And I also have 2 tier lists on writing advice, which I think we could use to just like... Not necessarily like do a tier list, but I could talk about it. And of course, then I have the 2 tier lists I created for myself about the Haikyuu ships, because you asked for that. Based on their dynamics and how easy or hard is it to write them. Yeah, so tell me what you want me to start with. I don't mind any of it. So if you want me to talk more at the beginning, then maybe the writing advices. If you want me to talk more about tropes overall, Then we will do the tropes. And if you want me to talk first about Haikyuu ships and Haikyuu overall, then I can start with the two I made for myself, the ship tier lists. I was talking to my friends about my crush and they told me that they borderline harassed a girl, but he stopped. I asked him about it and he said that he did and stopped the minute he realized it. Okay. Well, at least he realized it. But the thing is that you won't know if he won't do it again, especially if he like needed to realize it, what he was doing. I'm back. Good to see you back, Alyssa. Okay, so what do you want me to start with? Do you have any writing advice? Yes, I have a lot of writing advice. Yeah, see, that's the thing, because I was looking through the tier lists, like what the writing advice is there, and I think I can talk a lot about them, because I have one that's like from famous authors, and then I have one that's just basic writing advice, and so I would say my opinion on that. Yeah, I'm so conflicted. Yeah, that's difficult thing. I don't envy you, Maria. I mean, I would say go for it, because at least he like realized it that he was wrong. But on the other hand, you can never be sure that he won't do it again and to you. So yeah, it's difficult, a difficult one. No problem, no problem. Okay, so I saw a question on writing advice. So I think we can start with the writing advice. I'm starting my own project and some advice will be good. Okay. Alright. So I think I will start with one question that I got, which is how to fight demotivation. Really can't speak today. Okay, so from what I understood from the comment, it's the thing that comes usually when you are super excited about a project, any project, but okay, let's talk writing. And then you get few scenes in, and then you are like, okay, well, where I am going with this, and suddenly like the motivation to write and the joy of it somehow dissipates, and you suddenly don't want to write that much, which is always a sign that the writing is not enjoyable, and therefore it's going to be forced, therefore it's not going to be good. Gaji, hello. I'm glad you made it. So, from my personal experience, I am going through demotivation right now with one of my fics. It's or like not demotivation, but I'm in a slump. Usually, when you see someone talk about this, they say they are in slump. And I have this with one of my fics, the Kinkuni Monster Hunters, where I was super excited to write about it because I have outline, I have everything, I have the plot twist prepared, I have basically every important scene prepared. But to get there, it takes a lot of time and effort to get to the good scenes. And suddenly you are like, yeah, but like, I don't really want to write this. So, what helps me personally is not writing in Not writing in timeline. I will explain. So when you are writing in timeline, it means that you are writing as the story goes. So you are just telling the story as it goes. But that sometimes throws you into a situation where you just want to get into the good scenes that are in the middle, at the end, and you just don't know how to get there. Or there are boring scenes in between, and you can't get over them to get to the good parts. So, my advice on this would be to write out of timeline, which means you write out the scenes as you think of them. So, even though you are at the beginning, you can write the scene that's at the end, just for yourself. But you will have it. You won't forget it. You won't forget it. And you can use it later. You don't have to. Depends on how the story progresses. But you can use it later. And you don't have to worry about that scene again. The advantage of this approach is that when you hit a slump, you can reread the scenes you already have, which sort of refreshes the story in your mind. It's like a restart, mental restart of the story in your head. And it helps a lot. At least for me, it works pretty well. When I hit slump, then I reread the scenes I already have, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is cool. I want to tell this story. I want to tell this story. I know I have to get there, but I really want to tell this story. So that's like one of the biggest writing advice I have for others is not to bother with writing on a timeline. If you think of a scene you think is going to be good and you want to use it later in the story, then write it out. Even though it's a scene from 5-10 chapters ahead. Doesn't matter. Just write it down and you will have it. You will have the scene and you can use it later. Even though if you don't use it, you at least know that there is something you have to connect, or like there is something you can connect to the story. And even it even makes later writing a bit easier on you, because like let's say you write down a script, you don't even have to like put the scene, how do you say it? You don't need to write out the full scene. You can just write out the dialogues, for example, and just put the action into the aesthetics. It still works, and it will help you later when you get to the scene. Like this is how I write the big multi-chapters I have running right now. So yeah, that's my big writing advice on how to battle writing slumps, is not to write on the timeline, because writing on timeline is, for me, or in my opinion, is the prime reason for writing slumps. No. I love reading about my favorite ships and even want to write about them, but I lose motivation when writing the non-interesting parts, so hearing this is very helpful. Yeah. Don't worry about the non-interesting part. Just write out the scenes you have in mind, and then you can always somehow connect the dots, so to say. Yeah, but you will have the scene, and you have someone to... not someone, something. You have something to catch on to when you will be writing later. Doesn't mean that you have to use the scene in the form it is in. Of course, you can adjust it to your needs, but you will have something to hold on to. Thanks, I was stuck with this exactly. Yeah. It's the slumps. It's the slumps. Do you have advice for writing slumps that aren't for a long story like a poem? Ooh. Well, let me think. I've never written a poem before. Well, I did, but it was an assignment on summer camp for whatever reason. Because this advice I just gave you is for the longer stories, definitely. I will think about it. If there's something for the shorter scenes. Or like shorter things. But technically you can use it too, like write out the verses you already have and then just like surround it with the things as you think of them. Like build a core from the verses you already have and then just snowball it on that core. That could potentially work, I would say. Like, this is me talking from a perspective of someone who writes a lot of one-shots. So I usually have... This is, by the way, answer for a question. I think that it was the same person who asked that. No, it wasn't. Someone asked me how I came up with the storyline for the videos. I think I've said it before, but except for the What Hurt series and like the prank, the pretend to be hurt prank I did, I made that challenge or that prank with the What Hurt series in mind. Like that was planned. But otherwise, I am just winging it pretty much. Like I have my notebook for video notes and stuff. So how I am writing the storyline is that for the most part, I write down the name of the challenge I will do. Then I put the ships I want to write. And the only thing I'm planning out is the vibe or some prompt or sentence. I don't usually like hold on to it. But yeah, that's the whole planning process in this. And then I just go ahead with something. Like all the major plot points are basically me saying, okay, what could go wrong? Because when something goes wrong, then it gets interesting. So I'm always asking, like, what could go wrong? And then it goes wrong. Most of the major plot points are still coming out from the What Hurt series, because that was this big event in the whole storyline when everyone was just getting injured. And yeah, so a lot of things are coming out from the What Hurt series. But for example, the Stalker thing in Yakulev lately, that's just me being, okay, why not? Let's just do this. Let's see where this goes. By the way, I have it thought out. I'm already sure about who the stalker is and what's going to happen. Same goes for the Samishira at this point with the... Oh, hey, Cat is here. Maybe she will show up on the camera. Same goes for Samishira and the whole jealousy thing Semi had going on. Shameless self-promo of the Patreon. Jealousy series going on there right now. It's very, very funny. But yeah, Chodź. 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 Sorry, I'm just luring the cat up. Chodź. Come up. Chodź. Nie chodź. Yes, there. Yeah, say hello to the viewers. You can't really see her, but I take the camera a bit down. Yeah, she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to look at herself. Yeah, fluffy tail. Yes. Okay, this isn't working. Again. It's annoying. Okay. What's your cat's name? Luthien. Her name is Luthien, but no one calls her that. She's a cat. We just call her cat and all the other various names. What was I talking about? Yeah, storylines. So, I know what's going to happen with Samishira. I know what's going to happen with Yakulev. A lot of people, or not a lot of people, but some people asked me some time ago about Aofuta storyline, because I am still like... What is? Everything is fine. Everything is fine. You haven't seen the mess on the bed. Okay? Yeah, working with cat be like. Exactly. Mish. Robisz. No? Widzisz, co dzielasz. Okay. Everything is fine, don't worry. It's because I have a strange setup of the camera, because yeah, there is a pile of books under it and she just wanted to rub her face on the books, so yeah. She threw everything down. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so you have a lot to look forward with Samishira, by the way. Yeah, Aofuta storyline. Someone asked me why I was like always making Kenji being like, or Futakuchi being like so insecure about his relationship with Aone. And the reason is simple, because I have a plot point for them in mind. I have this plot point. I've had it for almost a year and I still didn't get to it. It's nightmares. Spoiler alert. It's nightmare plot point. Me likey nightmares. So yeah, I hope that answers the question how I write out my storylines. I'm winging it for the most part. Yeah. Okay. I've seen. Do you have a favorite ship or dynamic ship? I will get to it. That's why I have the 2 tier lists for. I cannot wait to see how angsty that will be. Quite a lot, I would say. Maybe... I don't want to say the most angsty, because like we had Yahaba with the sexual assault, but... Yeah, but yeah, it's going to be angsty. Hej, you. Chodzisz to. Uś. Chodzisz to znova. Nie les tam. Piš, 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 piš. Yeah. It's going to be interesting one. Who needs the most therapy in your plot currently as well? I think Yahaba. Still Yahaba, because like I threw the second assault at him quite shortly after the first one. So yeah, Yahaba definitely. Do you have advice for not using the same words a lot in writing pieces? Well, let's say that since Google Translate started to suggest synonyms, a lot of things got better in my writing. What are you doing there? Yeah, she wants to join in on conversation. Unfortunately, she can't. Yeah, how is that site called? Thesaurus? Thesaurus, I think. The only exemption of this rule of like not overusing a word are names and set. I will get to set later because I've seen it in the writing advice tier list, so I will talk about it later. But yeah, the thing is that it binds to another writing advice I have, which is don't edit while you are writing. And one of the best pieces of advice I've heard so far is on this note, like repeating words, is just write it out, write everything out, and then using the Ctrl F and searching the most common words, and then you can think about the way how to change it. But don't bother with this the first draft. Like, don't worry about it at all. Just go write everything out, then you can edit. Yeah, but it's a lot of therapy. Yeah. Hello, not out. Long time no see. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Long time no see indeed. I didn't do a stream in a while. Okay, so we are 30 minutes in and I haven't done anything. So I think we can start with some tier lists. I'm just going to increase the size because I don't want these stupid ads everywhere. It's annoying. So what do you want me to start with? I have the ships, I have the writing advice, and I have the tropes. I think we can start with the writing advice because we somewhat bit into it already. So I think I will start with this one. Yep. And I still have ads around. Super annoying. Okay. So and I need to switch some things. Bada bim, bada boom. Okay. Yep. All right. So we have a list of common writing advice, and I think I will just talk a bit about it and about each of them and say just my opinion on this. So, write every day. Starting hard. Not necessary. Like, not necessary at all. You don't really need to write every day to get better. Okay, wait a second. I want to get the chat on the screen because I don't see it. Okay, yeah. So, write every day. It's my advice. Look at it this way. I know people say that habit is better in writing than inspiration, which, yes, that's true. You don't have to wait for inspiration in writing. And you should just write everything out, because if you are going to wait for inspiration, you are not going to write anything. But that doesn't mean you have to write every day, because sometimes you just don't have time, you don't feel that well, and if you follow this advice, then you are going to feel bad about your skills sooner or later, because you'll be just like, oh my god, I haven't written anything today, what am I going to do, what am I going to do, and then it's going to just snowball and it's going to get worse. So meh advice. Wait a second. Okay. All right, second, I've already talked about this a bit, and it's the advice that you shouldn't be using set, but instead use 10, 20, 100 other alternatives. BS. Absolute BS. They will actually told you when you are writing a book and you want it traditionally published, and when you hire an editor, they will definitely delete 50%, at least 50% of the other words or synonyms for sad you will use. I've read a book where the person was following this advice, like avoid saying sad as much as possible, to the T, and there was like 5 instances where they used sad. Other than that, everything was some synonym. And it's so awful to read. They say that sad is invisible word, which is true, because you basically ignore it when you read over it. It's just, yeah, it's the thing, it's the word that you are very much allowed to repeat as much as possible. So sad, not using sad is very, very bad advice. My English teacher has lied to me about sad. Yes, that's the thing about teachers. That's where this advice actually comes from, is from school, because they will always tell you, like, don't use sad, use something else. Nope. Use the sad. Okay, next up we have write what you know, which is another meh advice. Or, okay, we can maybe give it a 50-50. Because if we all wrote what we know, then we wouldn't get anywhere. Like, there wouldn't be any fantasy genre, there wouldn't be any sci-fi, there wouldn't be horror, there wouldn't be crimi, there wouldn't be anything if we wrote what we know. Like, this advice is good when you are describing people, for example. If you know someone who fits the characteristic of your character, then that's awesome, because you have some, I don't want to say inspiration, But something along those lines. Like you have something to look at and get inspiration from. And of course, using your life experiences is great because you can always tell when the author knows what they are writing about, or at least did the research. But on the other hand, if we all wrote, if I wrote what I know, I wouldn't be here at all. I wouldn't be writing fanfics because I know nothing about relationships. I know nothing about gay relationships. I don't know anything about romance. I wouldn't be here. So, big grain of salt on write what you know. It's always like do your research is a better advice than write what you know. If you do research, then you actually know something about the subject and then you can write what you know. Alright, 3-act structure. I'm not actually sure if I'm using that advice at all. I would give the to could help because it can help from the saggy middle syndrome. For those of you who don't know what saggy middle syndrome is, it's the point where the beginning is exciting, the end is exciting, and then the middle is just like there is nothing happening in the middle. But if you follow the 3-act structure, it can very much help you avoid that because you have something at the beginning, something in the middle, and something at the end. So you know what to put in the middle. So I would put this into could help because it actually can help. Read Save the Cat. I have no idea what this is, so I'm going to leave this away because I don't know what it is. If anyone knows, let me know, but I don't know. Other, we have watch movies to learn dialogue. Nope. Like, movies can help you with writing dialogues, but you have to remember that films and movies, which is the same thing, movies are scripted. There is writing behind movie. So you are not learning how to write dialogues. You are learning how the scenario writer is using dialogue. So that's not a good advice. If you want to practice on writing dialogues, I would more recommend listening to people and listening to way people are speaking, but like in real life, not in the movies. Okay, people watch. Yes, very good advice. I'm not sure if I can put it to do these because that's a bit borderline creepy. But yes, could help, definitely. If you are watching people, you can learn how people are talking, so it can help your dialogue. You can better yourself in writing how people are acting in certain situations. And you can get inspiration on relationships, you can get inspiration on plot points, you can get inspiration on outfits. Yeah. Watch people around you. It's the advice that travelers often get. It's just sit down in some cafe or wherever and just watch people going around you about their business. And for writers, it's pretty much the same or very similar because you are gaining inspiration at this point when you are watching people and you are learning behavior, dialogues, situations. So that's not a bad advice. Don't do second person. Well, unless you are writing choose your own adventure or very much reader insert, I wouldn't use second person because, well, you can't really use second person in other situations. But yeah, it's 50-50. Like, if you are writing a story, normal story, then first person and third person is your friend. If you are using if you are writing choose your own adventure and you know you are writing choose your own adventure, then go all out for second person. No problem in this. Show, don't tell. Yeah, classic advice. Yeah, okay. Let's put it in could help, but don't overdo it. You can't show, not tell, important information for the story. Be careful about show, don't tell. Like, this is mostly for emotions. If you are writing an emotional scene, then you should be showing the emotions and not telling your reader that, yes, this character is feeling like this. The reader should see how the character is feeling without the writer having to tell them that. So I'm thinking of an example. If you have angry character, let's say there was some argument and one of the characters is really pissed at this moment. Instead of saying or writing out that this or character A is angry or was angry, you can show the anger through something. Like, the character A punches a wall, or the character A clenches their fists or hands into fists. That will communicate to the reader that this person is angry. And the writer doesn't have to tell them that. Because if you are using telling instead of showing in these kind of situations, then it sounds really immature in the level of writing. Because, like, you are telling me what this character is feeling, but I want to see it. Especially if you don't show it afterwards. Like, you can tell me that this character is angry. But if he doesn't, or if they doesn't act like it, then I won't believe it. Because, like, yeah, okay, you told me he is angry. Where? Where is he angry? This is the problem with when in some... I haven't read any, by the way. That's just from the reviews I sometimes watch. When you are reading a smut scene in some erotica novels, or not even erotica novels, overall, and the character does something and the writer tells you that it's sexy, that's such a turn off. Because, like, yeah, thank you for telling me it's sexy, because otherwise I wouldn't know. That's where show don't tell comes into play. But don't overdo it. You can't show important information for the character and for the story. You have to tell me. You have to tell the reader. So don't overdo it. Write dialogue how people talk. Okay, I'm going to contradict myself a bit in this, but if you are going to write dialogue how people talk, it's soon going to become a bit annoying because take how you are talking, for example, or me, like I am talking right now. I am stopping mid-sentence because I'm thinking about words, sentences. I'm forming my thoughts. I'm repeating words because yes, because I can't do three things at the same time: thinking, talking, and translating. So, yes, write dialogue how people talk, because if you don't, then it's going to sound like an robot talking. But also don't overdo it. So I would put it here. Okay, I see light lags in the camera and in the stream. Is everything okay? Okay. Seems like it's okay. There were a few glitches. Okay, yeah. We vibing just a little like okay, good. Alright, let's continue. Grammar rules. Yes, please. Ah, bad grammar is okay, I can go behind some bad grammar, but if every second word has some mistake in it and the sentence structure is crappy, then I'm not going to want to read read that book or story, whatever. So please, for the love of God, at least download Grammarly or something. Or have someone to read it after you, but god damn it, use grammar. Oof. Write short fiction. I mean, if you want to, yeah, go ahead. If you don't want to write short fiction, don't. It doesn't matter if you write long or short. Write first, edit later. Yes, I talked about this. First, get everything out, then edit. Grammar is my weakness. Mine too. Like, I'm not native English speaker, so I have Grammarly installed, so at least I have something to check after me, and I have a few beta readers that I occasionally send the stories to. But for the most part, Grammarly is enough to catch the spelling errors and stuff, even the free version. My biggest enemy are commas. Because for some reason, commas are different in every language, and English is completely different from Czech, so I have no idea where to put the commas. But I'm learning. But with English too, buddy. Yeah. Uh, it'd be hard sometimes. Now that I think about it, I probably took too little to drink. Alright. It took me forever to figure out what was used for. Yay! That's actually not that difficult of a rule, I think. The N dash, M dash, and the triple dash. I know that M dash is used to symbolize like not finished sentence. Triple dash is when you are putting something into the sentence, like let's say note or some information that's like exploring more the not exploring. expanding the sentence, but doesn't necessarily belong into the sentence itself. You put the triple dash. All right, don't use adverbs. That's one of the worst advice I've ever heard, to be honest. It's everywhere. Everyone will tell you, like, don't use adverbs, don't use adverbs. BS. Use adverbs. Again, don't overuse them. And this, I think, comes also from the don't use sad rule, because it's usually paired with sad. I think I still need to learn. Yeah, we all need to. Don't worry. It's often paired with sad, like sad happily, sad sadly, sad energetically. That's the thing where the synonym for sad could be useful in these situations. But not using adverbs at all is the worst advice ever. So, very bad advice. Okay, the thing about adverbs is I've read a very good point on this, and it's, let's take smile as a verb, for example. If you put smiled happily, then the adverb there doesn't make sense, because if you smile, you presume it's happily. But if you say smiled sadly, then that communicates you the difference between the smile and the sad emotion in it. So you want to put the adverb there. So smiled happily is wrong use of adverb. Smiled sadly is a good use of adverb. Okay, sharing is caring. I have no idea what what this is. I think it could be like sharing ideas, maybe. But I have no idea what this is as a writing advice, so I'm just going to not think about it too much. Info dumping. Don't do info dumping. Good advice. I mean, sometimes you have to do info dump when you have to explain things to your reader for them to understand certain points. But if you throw everything at them in the first chapter, then they will have nothing from it because they will not remember 3 chapters later. So avoid info dumping. But, it's always but. As with everything, you can do a little info dumping, of course. But keep it relevant to the plot point you are trying to communicate to the reader. Very bad example of info dumping, or a good example in this case, is the Avatar movie. The thing that no one talks about. There's so much info dumping, which you don't even need to know, especially about the ghost world or whatever it is called. There's so much of it, and you just don't need it, and you forget it instantly. That's a great example of how not to use info dumping. Make your MC suffer. I mean, I am angst writer, so okay, I won't put it into the duties, I will put it into the could help. For obvious reasons. Your MC doesn't have to suffer for you to write a good story. But it can help to advance the plot if you do it correctly. If you are just using stuff to hurt your MC for the shock value and to move the plot forward, and your MC is being an idiot and just jumping into the suffering, then yeah, that's not a good use. Right to market. That's, I suppose, that you shouldn't write what you want, but write what sells. Nah. Unless you really want to make a living out of writing and like have it as a career, then you have to write for the market because you can't do anything about that. But if you just want to tell the stories, then there's no reason to write for the market. Your first book is going to be bad. Yeah, your advice is bad. Doesn't have to be. Not at all. Because your first book can come up from tens of years of experience in writing. So, yeah, it doesn't have to be at all. Lower your career expectations. Yes. Unfortunately, not like there's like 2%, maybe 5% of writers that make actual career out of writing. And the rest, you get royalties if you are traditionally published or even if you self-publish. But 95% people won't make it into a career. And 95% of people do their regular job and then they are writers on top of that. It's sad, but unfortunately it's true. Like, writing won't pay your bills most of the time. Considering how much effort and resources goes into writing, nah. Unless you are that kind of person like... This is not me shitting on romance novels, by the way. It's just a great example. Rosamunda Pilcher, Inga Lindström, and these people who are just throwing the books out. Everything has the same plot and you are basically just copying the core idea and just wrapping it around a different pairing. Then you can do a career out of writing. But otherwise, if you want to write some epic fantasy, you are not going to make a career out of writing most of the time. Like, you can get lucky, of course, but don't count on that. Learn by reading. This is something I've seen a lot of discourse about lately. I think it's because of the book Stephen King put out about the writing advice. Yeah. You learn a lot by reading. You learn how to, like, I forgot the word. Disintact? No, that's not it. How to put apart or pull apart the story into its basic components. Learn how sentences are structured, learn how characters are made, how the world building is made. It can really help to read. That said, you don't have to read a book every week to learn how to write. And if you don't actually put it to practice, you are not going to learn how to write just by reading. That's just not possible. You learn to write by writing. That's the biggest piece of advice I will give you. If you want to get better at writing, write. It doesn't matter what you are going to write, just write. It doesn't matter if it's not going to be published anywhere, if it's just for you. Just write. That's the biggest advice I can give you in terms of writing. Because you writing is a skill that needs a lot of honing over the years. And yeah, you can't do that with anything else than with actual writing. Ooh, I am talked out a little bit. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Just going to switch this for a bit. Alrighty, alrighty. Oh, that's alright. Yeah, I hope I didn't fry your brains. Yeah, so that's what I have to say for writing advice. Don't listen. Or okay. My camera is down. Come on, work. Okay, we are back. Sharing is caring. Neznamená to například sdílení svého příběhu s ostatními a sdílení názorů od ostatních. Yeah. Sharing, caring, sharing your ideas and stories with other people. Yeah, that's probably what it is, I would say. But okay, so I won't go back to the tier list. I will just talk about it here. Getting feedback from other people is a great way to improve. That said, you have to be very careful about choosing whose feedback you are listening to. And don't be like, yeah, okay, you said that this should be like this, then I will just correct it based on your suggestion. Think about it. Think about the feedback, think about what you are getting, and think about if the person who is giving you the feedback isn't intrusive into the story. Because at the end of the day, it's your story. It's your writing. So if you think that the person giving you feedback is too intrusive, then and just trying to, even subconsciously, they don't have to have bad intentions in any way, but even subconsciously, if they are remaking the story to their liking, then it's better to tell them to back off a bit and leave that thing alone, because it's your story. You are the one writing it. So listen to the feedback, but think about it before you get really into editing based on that feedback. That's probably everything I have to tell about this. Okay. Water break. You also take water break. Stay hydrated. What brain? Yeah. Your brain, Alice, your brain. Woo. Okay. So now that we talked about writing advice, let's do something fun. Let's talk ships. Because why not? Let's talk ships. Okay, what do I have for questions here? Hell yeah. Okay, I answered this one. Yeah, also the same person asked why I chose the ships I write about for the channel. I'm going to say two words, which are rare per hell. You probably heard me tossing this term around. And rare per hell is the place I am stuck in, and it also means that if I am going to suffer in rare per hell, so will you. That's why I chose those ships. Okay, no, seriously. It's because I like all those ships, and if I want to write about something, I have to like it. This is why you don't see the most popular ships or most of the popular ships on the channel. You don't see Kagehina, you don't see Tsukiyama, Bokuaka, or Kuroken. The only exception are Iwaoi and Sakuatsu. And it's solely for the reason that I just don't care about them. Yeah, I am saying it a lot because people are asking me if I'm going to add Kagehina or Bokuaka usually. No, I'm not. Because, like, 99% of my ships in Haikyuu overall are rare pairs or underrated ships. Let me take you on an adventure of my shipping journey through Haikyuu. So, I was a wee newbie to anime, and I said, okay, I will watch Haikyuu as my first ever anime in my life. I'm stuck in a writing story about Kawagata, Aofuta, and Samishira. Yes, awesome. My plan is working. So I was a wee newbie to anime and watched Haikyuu as my first ever anime in 2020, in late 2020. Sometimes after the fourth season ended, so I could just binge everything. My first ever ship was Asanoya, because the moment I saw them interact, I was like, yes, these gays for each other. And it stayed with me. I still like Asanoya a lot. I think some of the power that Asanoya had over me was based on the fact that I really like Asahi because he's my type. This big teddy bear and has long hair, which is 100% my type. Then I shipped Daisuga a lot along with Asanoya, but Asanoya had the biggest grip on me. Then I had Bokuaka phase for like 2 weeks. I had Sakuatsu phase for about a week, along with Osasuna. And then hell came when I discovered Kyohaba. I actually don't think I think I've seen the ship around even before I watched season 2. I've seen the meme picture of where Yahaba throws Kyotani into the wall, and the subtitles, like in the brackets, subtitles said scared but aroused. And I was like, okay, interesting one. Then I watched season 2. Oh, and then hell came loose. Best scene ever, honestly. Yes, and the gayest scene of also. Then came Aofuta, which is Aofuta is the reason why I got into fanfiction in the first place, because there is a horrid lack of fanfics for Alfuta. So I said, okay, I will write my own. And here we are. Okay, I will switch to the tier list. Underrated ships tier list. Okay. And I will talk about them a bit more. But to finish my thought about the rare pairs, it's because I just don't vibe with the popular ships. I've never read a single Tsukiyama fic. I've never read a single Kuroken fic. I've read like one Kagehina, and that's it. Other than that, I don't like. I've read something from most of the ships that are like top 30, I think. But these three, I've never read a single fic except for that one Kagehina, because I just don't vibe with them. That's the answer to your question. Why I love underrated pairs? Because it's my head. It's not me. Futa, yes. You mentioned Kyohaba. Recently, my friend sent me those facts about Kyotani, and one of them said he has a habit of licking his lips before hitting a volleyball. And I don't know how to live with that. yeah, I read that too. I was scrolling through Kyohaba and Samishira TikTok recently. I caved in like 4 months ago and download TikTok. It's purely because I wanted to see if someone is talking shit about my fics. Unfortunately not. Fortunately for them. Yeah, rare are sometimes even better than the popular ones. Okay, so considering I put effort into creating this tier list, let's get into this. Okay, I will just switch the cameras. Hopefully. Yeah. Wrong camera. Okay. Well, welcome to a rare ship showdown along with Imaoi and Sakuatsu. So these are all the ships I write for. It's 18 already, which is I don't know how to feel about that, but I don't really write Daisuga or Arankita anymore, so technically it's 16, but hey, 18. My favorite is still Kurotsuki. They seem to fit each other, all about them. Yeah, fair, very fair. This is gonna cause a war conflict in the chat. Nah, I think it's going to be okay. Hey, everything I say here is my opinion, okay? So, I almost forgot Ushiten, by the way. I had to add them later than all of them. I don't know how I managed that. But there was a question on how I see a different dynamics between ships. So I will rank them based on the dynamics, and I will just talk about them a bit. So I will take it from the very beginning. Kyohaba, of course, goes up here. They are my babies. Nothing else to say. Like, if I was to write just one ship from Haikyuu for the rest of my life, it would be Kyohaba. Because they are incredibly versatile in so many things. In canon compliance, even in AUs. Like, Kyohaba fits so many AUs. It's incredible. I wanted to show you my sheet of VIP works in progress. I'm probably not going to do that, but it's like 35, I think, is the final number at this point, and 80% of that is Kyohaba. Because they just fit everything, okay? Yes, Kyohaba for the win. I love the difference between them, let's say. Like, Kyotane, he's a soft guy with hard exterior, like who is trying to act tough, and like for the most part he is, but yeah, if you read the light novel when they Yahaba and Kyotane find the puppy, I recommend reading it. It's one of the few that is translated. Like, it has fun translation, but it's translated. And he's just a soft-hearted guy with hard exterior. And on the other hand, Yahaba seems like this good guy and angel incarnate. And when he gets angry, it's just like hell let loose. And I love that about them. Ah, Washikono. Mm, yeah, I sorry guys, I will put them here because we don't know anything about them for the most part. And your fix on AO3 made my heart Kidoki for Kyoba. I'm very happy to see that and hear that. Washikono is mostly, their dynamics is mostly made up in here for the storyline I have in the videos, and for that one fic I have. How I see them is Washio is practically Aone with a bit more talking, and Konoha is basically Futakuchi. Like, you can't tell me that Washikono and Aofuta wouldn't get along, because they would. I can swear on everything that's precious to me that Washikono and Aofuta would get along, because it's basically C, Ctrl V. Like, not that I'm saying they are the same characters, but they are very similar in terms of their personalities. And I like their bond. In the not the OVA, let's not talk about that, but the Tokyo preliminaries for the spring tournament. I love their bond. Yes, thank you for agreeing with me. Okay, Iwaoi. Yeah, I think I can give them here. Iwaoi is one of the popular ships that I like. I still like. I had Iwaoi phase for quite some time. And it's one of the popular ships that stuck with me for the most part. I still like Kyohaba much more than Iwaoi, but yeah, I like their dynamics. They are soulmates. Sakuatsu. I'm probably going to get hell unleashed on me, but currently they are here. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to expose myself a bit. I started writing Sakuatsu and Iwaoi for the matter at the beginning, solely because I wanted to get traction on the channel. Like, there was no other reason, because I was long behind my Sakuatsu phase. Iwaoi is the ship that I wasn't really thinking about writing too much. And yeah, it just somewhat happens. Which is not to say that I don't like writing them, but you probably noticed that they weren't in a challenge for a long time. And it's because I need a break from them, because I don't know what story to think of for them. And they became really difficult for me to write, which is something I will come back to in the second tier list. Osasuna. Yeah. Sorry guys, you are going right next to your twin. Same case. Absolutely the same case. With Osasuna, there is a bit more I can go from than with Sakuatsu, but still Osasuna is pretty difficult for me to write. Asanoya still goes up here, because of course they go up there. They are still my beloveds, and yeah, my Asanoya phase still didn't end, and just the combination of Asahi being this soft-hearted big teddy bear and Noya being this lightning bolt is very appealing to me. Arankita. Yep. Very sweet ship. I love them. They have a great bond in the story, and yeah, I like them. They weren't around for more than a year, I would say. I think. The last challenge I did with them was the were the notes, if I remember correctly. I should probably put them into the challenges again. Daisuga. Yeah, I will put them here. Because, like, there is definitely the spark, but it's not the same spark I see with Kyohaba, with Aofuta, and other ships I really love. So, yes, they are going to end here. Aofuta, no questions asked. My first fanfic ship. Criminally underrated, might I say. The whole Tateko is criminally underrated. Kinkuni, go here. They are somewhat oscillating on the 5th spot on my top 5 ships. Depends on what I see of them, which is not much because, yeah. From all the ships, or the underrated ships that I write about and I am interested in, Kinkuni is the biggest, or was the biggest surprise for me in terms of their underratedness. Because, like, they are right there. They have been together since they were in junior high. They are always around each other. Why don't people ship them? How did that happen? How are they so rare? It's hard to find some good fics about Aofuta. Yeah, very much. Kinkuni are almost canon for me. Same. Yeah. Like, they are right there. They are practically the first ship you get introduced to, except for Kagehina. And still so many people just sleep on them. I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, Kamagata. I am inclined to put them here, but nope. They're going here, even though most of their dynamics is made up in my mind. Yeah, my beloveds. I like to think of them as kinda foil to Semishira, I would say. With Hayato being this highly energetic guy and Taichi being this emotionless? This stone-faced, slightly emotionless guy that's just very worried about opening up. So yes, everything that you see from their dynamics in my stories is made up by me, by the way. Except for the part that Hayato is very energetic because that's based on manga. Otherwise, everything based on my own thoughts and headcanons. Yakulev, also a great ship. Height difference. Do I have to say more? I love height difference, okay? If I love anything and if I discovered anything about me during my time in fandom, it's that I have size king. So that's probably everything I have to say. Gogagoshi. Gogagoshi was actually one of the biggest surprise for me in terms of underratedness right after Kinkuni, because when I was still just watching the texting videos, Gogagoshi was everywhere. In every, or almost every video I've watched, one of the ships was Kogagoshi. And so I was like, okay, well, yeah, that's probably going to be popular ship for Goshiki and for Kogane. Then I went to AO3 and discovered they have like, I think it was 50 fics with them. I was flabbergasted, honestly, about this. So yeah, I will put them here because also I am basing everything on 2 interactions of them during the camp in season 4. But hey, I think they are neat. Goshiki with his constant need of reassurances and praise, and Kogane just being his silly self. Very sweet, very sweet. Okay, Enotana. Yes. Let's put them here. I'm thinking why I love these two. It just somehow happened. Well, that's true for most of the ships, but yeah. It's not that I have anything against Tanaka and Kyoko being together, but I think Tanaka has much better chemistry with Enoshita. Don't beat me for this, but yeah, and Enoshita is just this sweet guy that's just so afraid of being a leader because his past is chasing after him, and Tanaka being this very straightforward guy that just goes into everything head on. I think it's a great combination. Kagagoshi is something I didn't know existed and still fall in love. Yeah, fair, very fair. I have the same feeling about Kawagata, by the way. You have no idea how much it pains me when when someone asks me, "Oh, what do you ship in Haikyuu?" and I like Kyohaba, oh Futa, Kawagata, and they are like, "Who? Who are those people?" Like Kawanishi and Yamagata from Shiratorizawa. Who? Ouch! Enotana is so fitting. They suit each other, like you said. Yeah, yeah. This is just like. And I love Enoshita. Enoshita is my sweetheart, or one of them. Atsuhana also mostly made up. We don't actually see them interact in canon. Maybe in the OVA, like the short scene from the movie, but we actually don't see them interact at all in anime. So Matsuhana is purely a crack ship, which is incredibly interesting because they are, I think, 7th most popular ship or 5th maybe. No, not 5th, but they are in top 10 favorite ships. And it's just like, how did this happen? Which is also the question I'm asking about Sakuatsu, by the way. Well, whatever. I'm not going to question that. In OVA, somewhere they are seen to ride a train together. Yeah. True. One interaction in season 4. I forgot about that. Which is, I think, the thing that started the whole shipping thing. Maybe because everyone is like they are going on a date. So yeah. Teru show. That's a correct ship as hell. They are still going here. They are ultimately made up because they never met in canon. They have no way of meeting because one is in Tokyo, one is in Miyagi. The ultimate crack ship, Teru show. It's not much, but we eat this information and use it as a fuel. Very true. True for most of the underrated pairs. But what I love about Terusho is that Terushima and Daisho are probably two of the most slandered character in fandom for whatever reason. Like, okay, yeah. In Terushima's case, I kind of see it because, like, yes, he was bothering Kyoko. Very fair that he would get repercussions. Fair that people don't like him for that. Okay. But there's no need to slander him. Daishio, same case. Like, yes, he is a snake boy, but you don't need to slander him. He's a great character. And it's just the same case as with Tendo and his on-court and off-court persona. Because when we see him later in the season 4, he's a normal guy and there's no need for slander. So yeah, I think it's sweet that people made this ship of the two most slandered characters and just made them so sweet with each other. Because usually when you have a fic where is Terushima, he is going to be the jerk, the horrible ex. Daishio, same thing. For some reason. Because people probably don't want other characters to get the villain mark, which is also something I don't like, so I'm using OCs as villains in my stories. But why? So, by being paired up together and being shipped together, they are getting the love they deserve, which I think is very sweet. And yes, my beloved Semishira, of course, goes up there. Rivals to lovers. I think the funny thing is that people usually write them as like hating each other. I was the same way, by the way. At some point, I moved past that. And for the most part, like, there is no real hatred from either of them. Like, Semi is bothered by how Shirabu is in terms or in regard to his advice, but he also not admires him, but like, he knows Shirabu is good. That's why he is a starter. That's why he is where he is. And Shirabu, on the other hand, just doesn't seem too dismissive about Semi, and overall, I don't think there is any hatred from his side. So yeah, that's why I don't like when people use enemies to lovers on them, but more the rivals to lovers. By the way, fun fact, I started as Kawasemi shipper. Solely because of aesthetic reasons, because Kawanishi is really pretty. And Semi is also really pretty. So I was like, okay, well, yeah, who is this guy shipped together with? Who is this guy shipped together with? I saw Shirabu for the most part, and I was like, yeah, okay, but isn't there some better choice? And there was Kawanishi, which is, I think, second most popular ship for Kawanishi. Yeah, so Kawasame. Also cute ship, by the way. Very pretty. Aesthetically pleasing. And then I slowly just slide it. I just slid into the Samishira hill and I didn't get up since. Uh, yeah, so that's. I'm not a multi-shipper, by the way. I think someone asked me about it before. I'm not a multi-shipper. I am very selfish in terms of romance. And yeah, so if I have an OTP, I'm not going to ship them with anyone else. Samishira for the win. Shiratorizawa just has so many pretty people. Very true. Very true. And Ushiten. Yep, they are going here. I've become very fond of Ushiten lately. In like last how many? 4 months, I think. Since I started to write them more, I've become very fond of them and their dynamics. For some reason, I still can't get it through in my head that Tendo and Ushijima are the same height. I don't know why. It just seems so weird. But they are the same height, or almost the same height. But as I wrote in the Why Did You Start Dating Me? Just the fact that Ushijima is able to take Tendo as who he is instead of seeing him like the monster everyone else seems to think he is, and just befriend him and not judge is so sweet. That's why Ushijima wanted Oikawa on the team. What was? Ushijima wanted Oikawa on the team because Oikawa brings up the best in the team. But honestly, if you want my honest thoughts about Oikawa going into Shiratorizawa, I think he would end up like Semi. He wouldn't be playing, Shirabu would be setter, even if Oikawa was there. I forget that though, it's so tall sometimes. Yeah! Because the team is full of beauty. Oh, okay. Yeah, fine. I can get behind that. Alright, so that's how I see the dynamics in the ships I write. And I will do just quick based on the difficulty of writing, because that was another question I got. So, closing the apps, the ads and everything. His hair makes him even taller. Yeah. That's true, the hair does a lot. I also forget what a unit Kogana is. Very true. And also Goshiki, like I was looking up the height difference for Goshiki and Kogana, and it's not that much. I don't think it's over 10 centimeters. It's much less. And I always see Goshiki like kinda short, but he's actually pretty tall. Because everyone is like, he's the baby of the team, so you are like, okay, yeah, so he's going to be on the shorter side. Yeah, he's not. He's tall as heck. It's funny with the heights in Shiratorizawa, because I still see Shirabu and Hayato as short. They have like 2 millimeters between each other. And The fact is, I am 1 millimeter shorter than Hayato. We are both 174 centimeters. And I don't see myself as short, but I see Hayato as short. And it's weird. And I don't like it. I thought that Goshiki is small. He's not. Wait. I think to take a look. Attack. Gonna. Okay, Goshiki, where are you? Here. Running away from me. Yeah, Goshiki is 180, 82 almost. And Kogane is 194, I think. 192. Yeah, 10 centimeters is between them. Before time skip. After time skip is a bit less because Goshiki grew up. Like, my head is not really communicating the difference. Every time I go for volleyball matches, the libero looks so small, and then I see them off court. And next to it is a tallest man. Yeah. That's I when I was watching the National Volleyball League, I was watching the Japan versus Italy match, and like the libero against is so small. Like, he is into the half of their biceps of the other players, and then you realize that the players have like 2 meters and up, and the libero is actually as tall as you. It puts things into perspective. 1 centimeter of left. Yeah. Left is 194. I like the tallest on my team. If I should go at easiest, my first shift from Haikyuu is too less. Yeah, but this is my list. So, Yohaba is easiest. They write themselves, basically. Washikono is also very easy, surprisingly enough, but that's probably because of the similarities with Aofuta. Iwaoi depends on the day. Sometimes I find myself writing a pretty good stories for them. Sometimes it goes really hard. Sakuatsu, oof. Literally oof. Especially lately. I just don't know what to write for them. And whenever I put them into the challenges, and like, oh sheesh, these ones again. Osasuna goes into difficult. They are not as difficult as Sakuatsu, but they are definitely not easy for me to write. Yeah, Libero looks small because they are just giants. Yeah, exactly. Asanoya also very easy. Not that difficult. Arankita depends on the day. Because sometimes it's also the reason why they haven't been around for so long. Sometimes I'm just like, yeah, okay, so can I make their ship dramatic in some way? And in most cases the answer is no. Which means that it's not easy for me to write them. But also there are times when just everything goes well, and even Arankita goes well. Ooh, Daisuga. Okay, they're also going into difficult one. I've written 2 stories with them, and both of them were pretty much on the same par as with Osasuna. It's difficult to think of something to write for them. Gotta go, thank you. Bye, Maria. Thank you for stopping by. Ushiten is very easy to write, surprisingly enough, but they are. Aofuta, incredibly easy. I don't know why, but they are just incredibly easy to write for me. Kinkuni surprisingly depends on the day. And I say that with the Hunter's AU in mind. Very much depends on the day. And it depends on the story point they are at. At this point, when they have the house break-in behind them and the thing with Kunimi almost bleeding out with the Hurt series, they are easy to write at this point. But taking it from also the stories I write outside the channel, the ones I upload on AO3, they can be a bit tricky to write. Like, their dynamics is not as easy to catch as it might sound. Because you don't really want to make Kunimi too much, like, dependent on Kindaichi. Even though it, like, pushes you in that direction. And on the other hand, you don't really want to make Kindaichi completely dependent on Kunimi, because some people have tendency to write Kindaichi as this very naive, very innocent, like overly innocent character, which he's not. Like, okay, he's 15, but he's not an idiot. I'm going as well, my eyes are heavy. It's nice to... Zase někdy příště. Ahoj, ahoj. Yeah, we are going to be finishing soon. I'm just going to finish this one, and I'm going to make a video, like separate video on the tropes, because I really want to do that. I'm going to expose myself for you. Kawagata, very easy to write. Mostly because everything I write about them is made up. Yagulev, depends on the day. Depends on the day. Again, same case as with Kinkuni. Like, the thing that always... I fell asleep before. Yeah. See you in the rewatch. Bye, Koji. Thank you for stopping by. Depends on the day, because you don't want to make Left too idiotic, and you don't want to make Yaku as someone with anger issues, because those two are the cases of mischaracterizations that piss me off so much. It's not even real sometimes. I've just been here playing games while listening to stream. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, Kogagoshi also depends on the day. I will have to step up my Kogagoshi game, honestly, in the future videos. Enotana is very easy to write. I don't know if it's solely for their dynamics or for some other reason, but they are very easy to write. They see the demon senpai and go, he must be angry. Yeah, unfortunately. It's a shame, because Yaku is an incredible character. Fanon Kogagoshi and Yaku left trigger me. I'm not sure about Fanon Kogagoshi. I'm not sure, or I don't think I've encountered like too much Fanon Kogagoshi. I've encountered Fanon Yakulev, and that hurts as frick. Ah, I can curse. It's after 11 here. Anyway, Matsuhana depends on the day. Very much. Like their dynamics is also mostly made up. So that makes it easier. But other than that, sometimes I know what I want to write for them, sometimes I don't, and when I don't, it makes it very difficult to write. Their show, incredibly easy. Surprisingly enough. By the way, I have my Teru show backstory here for the video storyline. Spoiler alert, still no one got it right. Some were kinda close, but not actually. Truth is that I didn't give you too much to... Okay. Okay, works. Good. Sorry, I had a lag on the stream. Not sure what you heard the last, but yeah, so from the guys that were guessing about... Yeah, there was a lag. So I'm not sure what was the last thing you heard, but I was talking about Terusho and their backstory in the video. So I have it here. And so far, no one guessed correctly under the video. And there is one big hint in the story about what might be going on, or what is going on with Daishio. So give it a rewatch if you want. You have a hint from me that there is a big hint on what's going on with him in the story. And no one yet mentioned it, so I'm pretty sure no one noticed it or didn't put too much emphasis on it, which on one side is a good sign for me. On the other, I was kind of hoping someone would notice. The secret paperback story. Yeah. I had to write it down because it's in case I forgot. So I wrote it down for myself. So if you want to try to guess again with more details, you can rewatch. I watched like 3 times, but I shall watch again. It's a tiny detail, and to be fair, I'm not surprised people didn't notice it. If I didn't remake the video or their part a bit, then I'm pretty sure people would notice it, but everyone is taking note of the scissors, which is also because that's also a hint. But everyone just latched onto the scissors and just ignored everything else. So for those of you who are watching the stream from the recording, you know that something is there that no one yet figured out. And it's a big hint. Like, of course, I can say that because I know what's going on, but it's a big hint on what is going on with Daishio. So that's just a little nudge for me in terms of hints. Okay, hello. And of course, Samishira. Very easy to write. Incredibly so. They are basically writing themselves. Same as Kiwabai and Aofuta. Let's go and rewatch over and over. I should have done these guessing challenges when I was still getting paid for the video. Ah. Oh dear. Well then. So, this is how I see the ships I'm currently writing in terms of difficulty of writing them. Yeah, these three, you already know the reason why I don't write them too much. It's a pity, I know. But yeah, unfortunately, it is how it is. Okay, is there anything I wanted to talk about? Yeah, when we are in the ships, the last things I want to do. Someone asked me what my favorite team and season is. In terms of teams, I am very torn between Shiratorizawa and Seijo. I will go with Shiratorizawa and season 3 because of course season 3 is a masterpiece. Even if I didn't like Shiratorizawa, season 3 is a masterpiece. I read your sick Taichi era thing with those four and was surprised, but their dynamics was so sweet. Yeah, I was surprised too. Actually, it was my first poly ship fake I've ever wrote. I I had to ask Hannah, Nerdinekoma, for advice on poly ships. Hello, Hannah. Thank you for help. It was a great help. Yeah, also I'm the first Semishira Kawagata fic on AO3, which yes, it's an honor to be the first. But I was actually thinking about combining them for quite some time, but I didn't have the guts to do Polyship fic. And yeah, then I figured out that I actually have one story idea, which is Semishira Kawagata mixed with Omegaverse AU. It's going to be very angsty. I'm going to hurt Taichi a lot, as always. And so I wanted to do some lighter practice for them before I would go into the big stuff. So I wrote the sick Taichi one. And I really like them. I love their dynamics, and seems there is going to be more. Not Taichi. Sorry! That was the base idea. You can thank that one person who wrote their not headcanon, but prompt, sort of, on Twitter about Omegaverse, where it was for polyship of Alpha, Beta, and Omega, where it was angst for the Beta, of course. And considering I mostly had canon Taichi as Beta, I think you know where I'm going. The base of the prompt is that most of the time the Alpha, Beta, Omega polyship is working well, but as the time passes, the Alpha and Omega get really close, and through heats and through rats and everything, and the Beta is just getting left behind and aside. And yes, so it's angst for the Beta. And considering I had canon Taichi as Beta a lot, you probably know where I'm going with this. So yeah, Taichi is going to get hurt a lot. Okay, I am exposing myself here. But don't worry, I don't write bad endings, so everything will be okay in the end. Season, we did this. Okay, someone wanted to know favorite popular ships and least favorite ship. Favorite popular ship probably is going to be Iwaoi, because if I have to choose one popular ship that I really like, it's Iwaoi. And least favorite ship, I don't know. Like the ship I care the least about is Tsukiyama. Like I don't care about that ship at all. Even if you like presented it to me on a silver platter, I don't care. Right behind them is Kuroken. Like these two are just, it's not that I dislike them. Not at all. Like I don't mind people who ship them, I don't mind the ship, but they are just doing nothing for me. Absolutely nothing. So yeah, that's probably my least favorite ship. Yeah, that's why Tsukiyama is not going to be on this channel. Same as Kagehina. They are not going to appear here. I refuse. They like they have the best friends vibes, and that's it. It's not even about vibes. I don't care about this ship at all, at all. As long as you are not pushing it into my face, I am okay with that. If you are going to push it into my face, then I'm going to back off and run away. Uh, last thing, last thing. Yeah, I kind of said my thoughts on Polish ships. I don't have anything against Polish ships. I wrote my first Polish ship fic recently, and I I'm planning a big Polish ship fic to write soon. From the most popular Polish ships like Bokuaka, Kuroken. Bokuaka and Kuroken don't do anything for me, so I don't really care about them. Uh, who is there? Eva Oidai Suga. Yeah, can be cute, definitely. Like, I'm 99.9% sure that Hana is able to create an incredible stories with them. And yes, okay, if you enjoy it, great. And as I said, Hana is incredible in terms of writing Polish ships. So, great combination. The Polish ship I am the most into is right now Semishira Kawagata, which is a Polish ship I created for myself. for my personal, not pleasure, but angst needs. Yeah, also very fair. I wasn't into Polish ships either recently. It's okay, it's not for everyone. As I said, as long as you are not hating on it or like pushing it hard into my face, I don't mind anything that's going on in the fandom. I don't mind any ship. Like, I don't find any ship problematic to the point where I would have to hate on it. There are some ships that I'm not going to talk about because I don't want this discussion here, but that are just a bit strange. But hey, as long as you are not pushing it into my face, I don't care. Same with Polish ships and straight ships, even though I'm not too much into it. I don't care. Ship whatever you want. I'm going to now go. Bye bye. Bye, Coco. I usually just read couple ships. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so that's my opinion on Holy ships. And also I got question if I wrote in English from the beginning. Now I started to write in my native language, obviously, because I started to I started to write when I was 13, and my English wasn't that good, so I wrote in my native language, which is Czech. And then I switched into English and didn't left it since. Fun fact, I don't think I can write anything in Czech anymore. I'm just fully switched into English writing, and I can't write in Czech anymore. I'm heading to bed now, gotta get ready for tomorrow. Have a good day. You too. Yeah, I'm going to finish here also. I just wanted to answer the questions I got. And I will do the trope tier lists on the video because I really want to do them, and I still didn't get the option to do them. So now I have to take advantage of it. So expect like 1 or 2 videos with trope tier lists in the very near future, throughout this week or the next 2 weeks. So, lack of thoughts on mom and dad. You will have to ask Hannah on it. I'm not Hannah. But hey, yay tier lists. Yeah, I love tier lists. I need tier lists. And I still didn't do any tier lists for the tropes, so I need to do some. I'm going to be exposing myself, so if you are interested in that, check out the videos that are going to come from it. Hopefully it's going to be something presentable. Well then, I'm going to switch the cameras. Hopefully it's going to work. Yep. Okay, so it's late here. We've streamed for over two hours. Thank you so much to everyone who came here today. I had a great time. And thank you for keeping up here the whole time. And yeah, I hope this was enjoyable, and I hope I helped some of you, or in best case scenario, all of you, with your writing struggles, with the advices I gave. I might do something like this again in case there are some questions I didn't answer, something you want to know. So yeah, I am up to doing stream like this again in the future, no problem. And yeah, thank you so much for sticking by this channel. I love this community, really. And see you with the next video, which is going to be the tier list. Oh dear God. Good night, good day to you all. See you next time. Bye bye.